How to introduce a book to give your child a more successful reading experience. When you read a book with a young child, it's really important that they have prior knowledge of the subject. So choose a book with your child, look at the pictures on the cover, and read the title. Make sure that your child can identify the pictures on the cover and inside the book. And then you and your child can go through the book and look carefully at all the pictures. On this page, you could say, "Look at the little caterpillar walking along. I wonder why the apple has a hole in it. Look at the pear. It has a hole too. And there are holes in all the fruit. I wonder what made the holes," and see if your child can predict that the caterpillar has been eating the fruit. Now, they may come up with the real reason for the holes in the fruit. And if they do, that's great. But if they don't, you could say, "Well, what do you think the caterpillar is looking for?" Or, "What do caterpillars eat?" And through questioning, you can lead your child to guess that the caterpillar has bitten the holes in the fruit. Then you could turn to the next page to see what other types of food the caterpillar has eaten and talk about the pictures. By doing this, you can prepare your child for a more successful reading experience. Point out the cherry pie, sausage, cupcake, etc. If you don't do this beforehand, your child may struggle with words like sausage, cherry pie, and cupcake. They need to be able to identify the pictures before they start reading, and this will result in a more fluent and speedy reading, rather than being stuck on words that they don't know. When they become stuck on words, they lose the flow and comprehension of the story, and you don't want that to happen. Further along in this book, the caterpillar spins a cocoon. If your child does not know the life cycle of a caterpillar, then this lack of prior knowledge could prove to be a stumbling block. So once again, before reading the book, you'd need to look at the picture of the cocoon and talk about it with your child. On the next page, the cocoon opens and a beautiful butterfly emerges. The words beautiful and butterfly are quite difficult for young readers. The butterfly picture will help your child to predict this word. Now, over the years, I've had many parents come in and say, "I've been reading with my child and I'm covering up all the pictures because they are looking at the pictures to work out the words." Please don't do that. Even as adult readers, we use pictures, graphs, diagrams, and photos to help us read and comprehend difficult pieces of written information. So don't cover the pictures. After you finish going through the pictures in the book, go back to the beginning and say to your child, "What do you think this book is going to be about?" Now, all of these pre-reading investigations will help your child to predict the upcoming text or words and understand what they are reading. With a young child who is a beginner reader, I always read the story to them first. As your child gets older and more confident with their reading, they'll want to read the book by themselves, and that's fine as long as you prepare them by looking through the book with them and asking them what they think the book is going to be about. You want your child to develop a fluent reading style. The aim is for reading to sound like talking. Now, to begin with, the reading pace will be slower, but it's important to try to model an expressive and flowing reading style. Try hard to discourage your child from reading word by word in a stilted style. If they do this, they are simply identifying individual words and they will have little or no comprehension of the words they are reading. If your child is falling into the trap of reading word by word, ask them to read along with you. You won't be able to read as fast as normal, but try to speed up your child's reading and make it sound like talking as much as possible. I would not ask a new beginner reader to attempt to read the whole book. You can read the difficult pages to them and encourage them to read the easier pages. Sometimes on a more difficult page, there may be sections that are easy to predict and read. On this page, you could be quiet for some of the words and encourage your child to guess what the words are. Now, he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar any. Pause slightly to see if your child can say the word more. He was a. Pause again. Now, your child may know these words from the sight word videos, but if not, read that sentence again. He was a big, and you can sound out the f sound. He was a big f. And encourage your child to guess what the word is going to be. And hopefully they'll say fat, caterpillar. They may also know the word caterpillar because it has already been repeated several times throughout the book. Books with repeated text or words will help your child to predict the upcoming words and sentences. Here's an example in The Very Hungry Caterpillar. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still. Now pause to see if your child can predict the word. On Wednesday, he ate through. You could pause there and see if they can come up with 3 plums. But he was. Once again, pause and see if they can come up with the words still hungry. Then you could reread this page with your child and encourage them to join in with predicting more words or read it together. The beginning video books in this course have simple repeated text to help your child predict the upcoming words and learn to read for meaning. Sections of The Very Hungry Caterpillar, like the page below, are great for beginner readers to practice this new skill. I'd encourage you to read the book again on the following day. It is now a known book, and this will make the reading experience easier for your child. Before the next reading, go through the book and find any words that might cause problems. On this page is the word through, and through is quite a difficult word for a child to work out. Now, they should be able to remember how the words flowed on this page, but they may not. So before you reread the book the next day or at a later date, have words like through, cocoon, and beautiful on flashcards. Look at the difficult words with your child. You could look at the beginning letter and sound, how long the word is, what the word shape looks like, and how the word ends. You could also cut up suitable words into syllables and put them back together again. You could also ask your child to write the words and see if they can find those words in the book. If you haven't gone through words in a book and your child comes across a difficult word like beautiful, you could encourage them to look at the first sound, which is B. Look at the pictures on the page and make a sensible guess. Ask your child, how would you describe that butterfly? Now your child is ready to have their first turn at reading the book. Let's recap what to do before your child starts reading. Look at the cover and talk about the picture. Read the title. Ask your child, what do you think the book is going to be about? Go through the pictures in the book. Discuss any pictures that your child doesn't recognise. Read the book to your child. Pause at some sections of the repeated text and see if your child can guess the words. At the end of the story, go back and point out difficult words. Then it is your child's turn to read. By following this method, you have scaffolded your child's reading experience, giving them the prior knowledge they need to read the book successfully. And this will help your child to become a positive and confident reader. As your child is reading the book, they will probably make mistakes. It is really important for you to be positive and praise them as they are reading. Don't stop them every time they make a mistake. However, if their mistakes are not making sense, you will need to stop them and talk about what they said and ask them if the story is making sense. But if they say a word that does make sense, don't interrupt their reading. Let them read on and finish that page or paragraph. You can either ignore that mistake, or you could say, with this word you said pretty and the word in the book actually says beautiful. But it made sense, so I didn't stop you. You can tell your child that really good readers often make mistakes when they're reading books, but their mistakes always make sense. Give them a high five and praise them. Mature, fluent readers only focus their eyes on 1 in 6 words. Their brain is busy predicting ahead and scanning. So if your child does replace a word with another word that makes sense, you should be really happy, because that means that they're comprehending what they're reading and they are on the pathway to becoming a great reader.